Each character has a small, self-contained story. And yet despite that, I do think they have a bit of emotional depth. And it's largely because of the things they talk about, the things they face, loneliness, acceptance, all that sort of thing. It's deeply relatable, and you can understand their perspectives and their journey. I just think it's really so compelling to watch. And speaking of that minimalist feel, I actually think it works to the advantage of the script itself. The dialogue itself is minimal. There are moments of silence, just the music and the animation alone, which in turn leads to great moments of pathos. Time to reflect on the story after each line of dialogue or after a big moment, which in turn enhances everything else. So yeah, the narrative, script, character development, it's all quite top class and creates a really heartfelt cinematic experience. And then this in turn combines with really stellar visuals and music, and so we'll start with the score. Much like the rest of the film, it's a little bit minimalistic, a very gentle sort of theme. Heavy emphasis on piano, and creates this wonderful effect of like walking through a childhood memory almost, safe and happy and quiet. Like you're actually walking through this winter wonderland that the characters inhabit. It's so well done. And really well mixed too, because when the characters are talking or something's going on, it's always just there, quietly in the background, lending a little bit of emotional weight to the scenes. It's not really something you think about until you've watched it more than once. After all, it's those unique visuals and the story that really grip you on the first watch through. But still, the music's so calming and pleasant, so it really does deserve a mention. And we'll stay on the audio track for a moment to talk about the acting. The voice acting, that is. It was really nice. They're very, very small parts with very little to say, but each voice performance brought a lot of emotional weight to their part. So they should be commended for their performances as well. Also, there's just something so wholesome about hearing Idris Elba give a performance like this. If nothing else, it's worth a watch just for that. And then we'll go from audio to visuals. The animation style, it's very unique. Obviously, it's traditional 2D animation, which already sets it apart in a world of 3D computer-generated images. But beyond that, it was a looser style, like an unfinished sketch, like concept art that's been presented and still needs a final copy. It's a very storybook style that ties back into that overall theme, that it feels like a storybook, that it feels like you're reading a book that's come to life. You're not watching an animated film. It's rustic and rough, but it helps it stand out, and obviously it stays faithful to the original design of the book, which in turn was based off the illustrations on Instagram that had gotten wildly popular. And so too did the book when it was finally released. So I feel like changing up the visual style would have been a complete and utter blunder. So I'm glad it looks the way it does. I actually read a review that says the visuals are very reminiscent of the original Winnie the Pooh illustrations, and yeah, having looked at them, I can't help but agree. This whole film, the story, the design, the themes, they all kind of scream Winnie the Pooh. And I'm not saying it's a rip-off or anything like that, just it has that same vibe in the same way that Winnie the Pooh was able to speak to your inner child. I think The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse does this as well. And it's really something that very few films are able to successfully do. Speak to the inner child in everybody who watches. Craft a truly groundbreaking experience, which is only made more impressive by the fact that this all went down during the height of the pandemic, with an international team of animators, many of whom never actually met in person, so bravo there as well. And so yeah, at the risk of sounding pretentious if I keep on gushing about this film, I'll end it here. And of course, with all that being said, I would like to remind you that these are just my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse if you've seen it? Did you like it, hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe and let me know.